Robbie, you got a great head of hair on you. I just got to say it, man.
Thanks, man.
I really appreciate
that. Appreciate that.
Sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, sorry, my hairline's not receding.
Yeah, well.
Give me that look.
Oh, I just have a massive ass forehead, and it's been like that since high school. We keep an eye on it. We have a heart-to-heart mirror conversation weekly where we
don't move.
Don't run away from me.
Do that.
It's part pleading and it's also part threatening.
Have y'all ever seen Parks and Rec?
No.
Yes.
Robbie, do you remember the episode where Chris gets the flu and he's in the hospital and he looks in the mirror and he's like, "Stop pooping." It kills me. His delivery kills me. It reminded me of that. Stop receding.
Yeah.
Cause we way too high for you. Tripping like we got too much on. Don't think I love it for us. Cause we staying all night long. Yo, when we walk in the club, you better believe we know what's up. Got these girls a little trance. Throwing rhythm in the dance.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another rendition of the Bros and the Berg podcast. I mean, technically, since we took off the last 7 months, this is almost a regular recording.
We're kind of locked in, actually.
Comparatively,
low-key.
Yeah.
Someone was like 2-3 weeks ago.
Nah, see, that's locked in for sure. If you're somehow new to this podcast that has had 2 episodes in the year of our Lord 2025, we welcome you. My name's Ryan, joined by my co-host Robbie and our executive producer, the handsome one, Connor, my younger brother.
I'm just saying, we only missed one round of the NBA and NHL playoffs. Only one round. That's not that bad.
Really? I mean, for us, like Ryan said, missing the last 7 months.
Not that bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're here to talk about sports, pop culture, give our awful takes. And Connor, what are we starting off with today?
Well, first I want to address Robbie's background. Robbie, would you mind sharing with the class what's on your background there?
Grogu's very in the way.
What the hell?
Yeah. So, Robbie, why is that your background? I wonder. Can you elaborate?
We're gonna talk about it when we get to the NHL playoffs, but I'm counting down the days until football, so that's why it's my background.
Yeah. You know what? Sorry, Ryan, go.
No, it was a sigh, brother. Oh. That was just me, just thinking about the Cowboys being the sacrificial lamb to open the season.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be pretty bad.
I think Jerry must have said something to Goodell in the offseason to make that schedule happen. So.
We're going to debate this later, but imagine how much more mad the Eagles would have been had the tush-push been banned. And this was the first game post-tush-push era.
Yeah.
You guys actually would have gotten murdered. It would have been
50-0.
Yeah, exactly.
Dak is getting hurt on the second drive. No. It's just actual carnage.
All right, well, we are going to start with the NBA. We're going to start with the NBA playoffs, currently in the conference finals. The game that was played last night was between the Pacers and the Knicks. The Pacers are currently up in the series 2-1. A crazy game last night. Lots of
series.
Yeah,
bro.
crazy playoffs, to be honest. Best NBA playoffs in a while, in a long time, I would.
And that's because you don't have any favorites, right? The last team in the semifinals to win a championship are the Knicks, and that was 50 years ago.
Yeah,
well,
the other 3 have never won.
You say you don't have any favorites. The Thunder have been the favorites the whole way through the playoffs and are still in the playoffs, but they've not won a championship. So that makes it a little bit more interesting, if you will.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. So that's in the Eastern Conference, and then tonight, Game 4 will be played between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Gentlemen, I'll just kind of open the discussion in general. I'm not going to say anything specific about either of the series. Were there certain players that you think are overperforming? Is there anything that you want to mention within these series? I'd just be interested to get your thoughts.
I think we'd be remiss to not mention how we got here, especially in the Eastern Conference. The New York Knicks knocking off the Boston Celtics in 6 games.
Yeah,
which. People will say it's because Tatum got hurt. The Knicks were already well on their way to having a chance to win this series before Tatum got hurt. That was just the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
I think it's a really sad injury. Obviously, he's a great player.
Yeah.
And it's also going to very quickly close the Boston Celtics championship window because he's not going to play next year. There's no way.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to offload some people. They're going to have to get back under the luxury tax and all these things. and it's gonna quickly close the Celtics being able to win multiple championships, which I think, going into this playoffs, you're still sitting there saying, okay, maybe the Celtics team can win 2 to 3 championships in the next couple of years. I mean, I think that was on the table, and now it's not. So it'll be interesting to watch moving forward.
This is a safe place for Paul Pierce hate, right? Can I quickly hate on Paul Pierce? I want to bring this up real quick, because they're literally like they almost are identical. Obviously, Tatum suffered this horrendous injury and got wheelchaired off and everything when he got back into the locker room. I would love to put a side by side of Paul Pierce having the same exact reaction, but it's because he was shitting himself and he had to go to the back.
That has happened. Because
Paul poops himself, Pierce. Are we really comparing like blown Achilles?
Connor, people were saying that Tatum can't do anything like his own way. So there's a picture of like him doing like anything as possible side by side with KG, and then it was side by side of him and Paul Pierce in a wheelchair getting wheeled off. It's like he can't do anything in his own style. He has to copy everyone, which kind of in bad taste. But
that's hysterical.
That's why I went the other way, because I was like, really, Pierce is the one to blame for that comparison. 100%. But yeah, and then on the other side, I mean, the Pacers beating the Cavs in 5 is pretty wild.
Have we been underrated the Pacers?
Did we forget that they beat the Bucks in 5 too?
Did we forget that they made the Eastern Conference Finals literally last year? And yes, I think they lost in 5 games to the Celtics.
They got swept. They got swept by the Celtics.
But they lost how many of those games like by a possession or an overtime?
Correct.
Like it was a close series. Like it wasn't one of those things they got blown. It's not like the Hurricanes and Panthers in the current Eastern Conference Finals and the NHL playoffs. Those were close games. I mean, they were in those games, and I think that's what has made them a little bit better in crunch time this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
And people were clowning the Pacers because of that getting swept, and then I think pre All-Star break they were like kind of a fringe 8 seed to like try to avoid the play-in. They've had the best records since the NBA All-Star break besides the Thunder. Yeah. So like they have been playing really good basketball, and I think it's a testament to how teams kind of used to be built, which was you have a bunch of guys doing a bunch of things, a really deep bench, and everyone just playing together, compared to like what we've seen of just like super teams in the past. You look at the Nuggets, who don't have a bench. Right, that they just run out of gas against the Thunder, who again are one of those deeper teams with all those draft picks and everything. So
the Pacers also have a fantastic coach by the name of Rick Carlisle, who you guys are all too familiar with, but fantastic basketball coach as well.
And it's funny because I love Rick, but it was for sure time for a change, especially with just some of like the emotional stuff with him and Luka. And like we clown on J Kidd, but Western Conference Finals appearance and NBA Finals appearance, like not too upset.
Yeah, it was definitely time for a parting of ways, but I think Carlisle got a bad rep after he left Dallas, and now he's kind of showing.
Yeah, people forget he's a good coach. Yeah, for sure.
Also, to mention something about the Pacers real quick. Tyrese Halliburton obviously having a hell of a playoff run here. The other day he celebrated on a buzzer beater with the choke celebration in honor of Reggie Miller and pointed at him in that game. And after the game, Reggie Miller was asked about it. He was like, "Yeah, that was really cool," and he was kind of laughing about it. He was like, "Might have been a bit premature." And I saw people in the comments that were like, "Reggie, you lost the series that you did that in." And it was really funny.
I couldn't believe that game went to overtime. That was not a buzzer beater winner. That game just goes to overtime.
He had the KD toe thing. It's like if your toe was just slightly shorter, it would have been a 3 and you would have won the game.
And then I saw people like talking crap because he got the bounce or whatever that made it go in. I was like, do we not remember Kawhi Leonard's like bounce not that long ago?
If you're hating on that, that's called touch, and you just don't have it.
Exactly.
It's that simple.
Touch. Yeah. Exactly.
Shooter's touch. I love you mentioning the KD toe on the line, because like the butterfly effect theories that come from that are actually insane.
I remember
just like how different the NBA would potentially look now if KD's toe wasn't on the line, because the Nets probably go on to win like an NBA championship.
I think KD would still be on the Nets, probably.
Yeah, I agree. That's how far some of it goes.
That's crazy. On the other side, on the Western Conference, the series before the conference finals, the Thunder beating the Nuggets in a 7-game series, most of which was really competitive, except for Game 7 itself, which ended up being a 30-point blowout. And then on the other side, Minnesota beating the Warriors in a 5-game series. Any surprises there, gentlemen? Anything interesting for you?
I think the Nuggets are the only team in the West that could take the Oklahoma City Thunder to 7, and it's because of how just truly incredible Joker is.
Get him
Like,
some help, honestly.
for the love of God. Like, talk about putting a team on his back.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
have like Michael, the possession ends here. That's my favorite.
it's the best nickname in the NBA. Michael, the
It's
possession
so
ends
good.
here. Porter Jr.
In the other series, I think, 5 games, obviously a quick one. If Steph was playing, would have been a much more competitive series.
Yeah.
Jimmy is not capable of carrying a team to the NBA Finals anymore. He's still a very solid player, but he was not able to do that against this Timberwolves team. It's pretty good. And also just walloped the Thunder 2 nights ago in the first game back in Minnesota. So we'll see if they can make this a series.
143 points in regulation is some crazy
Yeah,
numbers.
they had 74 in the first half. And they kept that pace in the second half, which was crazy. But
Yep. Like aforementioned, game 4 between the Thunder and Timberwolves will be taking place tonight, and then tomorrow, game 4 will be the Pacers and Knicks. OKC currently up 2-1, Indiana up 2-1. Gentlemen, what are the finals going to be? What are the NBA finals? What is the NBA finals matchup?
I think it's going to be Thunder Pacers.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
I really do.
I think Pacers Knicks for sure goes 7 with how close all those games have been.
Crazy game 7.
I think Thunder goes 6.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the box score right now for the last Thunder Timberwolves game. Like, Minnesota shot 60% from the field, like just quite literally unconscious. Like, obviously, if you do that every game, you're going to win. I just, they're a very physical team. I just think Oklahoma City just has too many dudes that can get it done on every night.
I could see the Timberwolves taking game 4, and then it goes back to OKC, and OKC wins the next 2. Like, so they wouldn't want an OKC 1 back in Minnesota. We're not in a 2-3-2 yet, right? That's only the finals that they do 2-3-2.
I believe so.
I thought finals was 2-2-1.
Wait, yeah, no, right. I think Ryan's right. Yeah,
I thought they changed it at one point.
I think they did, but I thought Ryan was right. I thought
they
changed it back to NBA playoffs, home away format. The NBA playoffs, all rounds, including the finals, are played in 2-2-1-1-1.
Okay.
So yeah, they changed it. I think you're right, Robbie. At some point they changed it.
At
But
one point it was 2-3-2. I remember.
Yeah.
I feel like some of those Warriors Cavs series were 2-3-2. Because I remember them going like the Cavs 1-1 in Oakland, and now they get to go back to Cleveland for 3 straight games, kind of deal.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. That Pacers Knicks series, if it goes 7, would end in New York. Correct?
I was just about to ask.
You would be correct.
Would
Game
that be
7.
the most expensive basketball ticket of all time? A game 7 in East Conference Finals at MSG.
Dude.
Like, I feel like that'd probably be the average most expensive ticket price ever.
And then the Knicks, the Knicks could lose. The Knicks are going to lose in just magical fashion in Game 7.
Yeah,
because it's all coming together for the Pacers to have their it's not even a Cinderella run, but right, like they were kind of just underdog run through the Eastern Conference, and the Knicks have made all these moves, and they've at this point they're, in my opinion, a top 3 team in the East.
Oh yeah,
like in the last couple of years. And then just let it slip away on probably some bullshit in MSG.
The East is going to be wide open next year with the Celtics kind of coming back down. I mean, they'll still be very good. They're still going to make the playoffs, but I don't think there's going to be one team that is like the team in the East next year. Doors open for the Hornets. That's all I'm saying. We're back.
All right, we've been talking a lot of. We still got some more basketball to get through, so we're going to move past this. Excited to see what these finals are. Like I've said before, the most exciting NBA playoffs I think in a long time. So we'll see what the finals ends up being. We're going to move on to the All NBA teams. These selections were made not too long ago, so I do have the teams in front of me, gentlemen, and I'm going to read them out to you. So currently we have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think, the league MVP, actually. So he just won
free throw merchant. Wow. League MVP. Joker is still league MVP in my eyes.
So I do have to say, I saw a stat the other day, and they looked at all of the guards that have won MVP and what percentage of their points came from the free throw line. SGA is in the middle in terms of percentage of points that come from the free throw line. He just gets fouls in a really annoying way. If he didn't flop all of the time, I don't think anyone would have a problem with it. But it's the flopping that really makes him a free throw merchant. I
don't have a problem a lot of the times with the calls and the whistles that he gets. My biggest thing with SGA that really annoys me is that he fully extends his off arm almost every single play, and every other person gets called for an offensive foul on that except for him. Like, he will be in midair and fully extend his off arm, and they don't call it ever. That's what infuriates me about him. It's so frustrating.
Dude,
but regardless,
Joker is going to go crazy next year after losing to SGA in the playoffs and losing MVP to him. Like, he might actually go train this offseason. You might come back ripped. Like, there's a chance.
You cannot tell me that Joker is a less valuable player to his team than Shea is to the Thunder.
MVP's
like,
never been.
I know, but like
MVP, like
the Nuggets win 30 games without Joker.
It's like that. No, it's
let's
crazy.
be honest. Like,
I mean, I think the Thunder are probably much closer to 500 without Shea, though.
Yeah,
sure, but they were 68-14 this year. So I mean, like.
Sure.
To continue down the list for the first team, obviously Nikola Jokic. We also have Giannis Antetokounmpo. We have Donovan Mitchell, and we have Jason Tatum.
Much love to Donovan Mitchell getting the nod.
Yeah,
he's always been solid, and I think Donovan Mitchell has now slid to underrated. Thoughts?
I agree. I fully agree. Ever since he went to Cleveland, because he was more hyped up on the Jazz, and then he went to Cleveland, and I feel like people forgot about him for whatever reason.
Right.
And he's been playing
and
even
I feel
better.
like he was only hyped on the Jazz for like being clutch, like hit some shots in the playoffs when they were making it and all that. Like, I don't think anyone still ever saw him as like a top 10 player in the league. It was just like he was clutch and hit big shots.
Well, I think it also came down to kind of the draft class that he was in, because that draft class he was in got a lot of hype surrounding it for a few years, and he was part of that. So yeah, no, I agree there. But I think the first team, I don't think I'd have any complaints with the five guys selected. Maybe Tatum could be, I don't know, but
he had a good. I mean, he's still had a good year though. Like,
I think Connor's just a slight Tatum hater.
I'm a little bit of a Tatum hater. Just
you can't hate on him while he's hurt. So.
I can't.
Watch me.
Just kidding. Moving on to the All NBA second team, guard Jalen Brunson, guard Stephen Curry, guard Anthony Edwards, forward LeBron James, and forward center Evan Mobley.
Is this the second team or the all nursing home team? Because
I was about to
LeBron on here.
We got all the nods to the unks on the team too here.
LeBron has set the record again for most key All-NBA team selections, having 21, having been named to the first, second, or third team every season since 2004-2005.
I think who's the next closest? Like, they're not even close to LeBron.
Was it not Mike Kobe? I can't remember.
I think Kobe was up there.
Something like
it's
KG or
so
like
LeBron now has 21. They've not updated Basketball Reference. Kareem has 15, Kobe has 15, Tim Duncan has 15. So LeBron is six clear of most All-NBA selections.
Yeah.
And has the most first team.
I would also like to. I have a fun stat. If you want to take a guess, who had the highest plus minus of the all NBA teams? Take a guess. The highest. It was like plus 952 over the season. It was actually kind of disgusting.
Evan Mobley.
It would be Shea. And that kind of makes sense just because of how many games the Thunder won. But the lowest and the only person to have a negative plus minus on the All NBA teams is the glorious King LeBron James.
My king, my goat.
How did the Lakers make the 3 seed? I still just don't. I don't know how that happened.
How did the Lakers make a 3 seed and LeBron has a minus plus minus? How does that physically like math work out?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
he plays 40 minutes a night, like because they don't have a bench.
Moving on to the All-NBA third team, comprised of guard Cade Cunningham, guard Tyrese Halliburton, guard James Harden, center forward Karl Anthony Towns, and guard forward Jalen Williams.
Really? So
we got some misses on team 3 here.
How did James Harden slide in there?
What
am I missing here?
I'm gonna be real. Like, I do not understand how Sengun was not all NBA third team. He had a hell of a year, and he was the shining light of the Houston Rockets team that was in the playoffs. And I really do not understand how Sengun was not selected for an all NBA team.
I also like Cade Cunningham on the third team. I could see him almost sliding up in the second team. Like, he had a really good year on a young Pistons team.
I agree with that too. I don't know. Some interesting. I think for the most part, first, second, third team, it's correct. But obviously, like any year, there's going to be those snubs. And yeah, I'm a little. I don't want to give too much credit to any Houston Rockets player, but I feel like Sengun did kind of did kind of get screwed out of that one. So we are going to move on to a little game, gentlemen. Are you guys ready to play a game here today on the podcast?
Oh boy, am I.
So this is an NBA edition. Okay. So you're going to be playing Guess the Player. So it's not like the 20 questions things that we usually do. This is not one that we have played before on this podcast. So essentially what is going to happen is that there are 8 statements for each player, right? So I'm going to read out one sentence. And as we go from the top to the bottom, the statements about the player get more specific. So for example, I could say like, I am 33 years old. And then basically right after every single statistic that I give you, you guys can throw out a guess. But you only get one guess for kind of the fact that I give you. And the
Are
facts
we like competing or going into?
You guys are competing. You guys
Okay,
are competing
right.
against each other. You can, so like I said, one guess, but once you use your one guess for that, whatever I said, then you no longer can guess until the other person guesses or until we move on to the next statement. Does that make sense? After the first round, it will fully make sense, I promise.
Sure.
I'm locked in.
All right, here we go. I am 6 feet 8 inches. So now you get one guess, and then if you don't get the guess correct, then the other person gets a guess. You don't have to guess, but it's kind of fun. You throw a shot in the dark. I am
LeBron
6.
James.
That is incorrect. So Ryan cannot guess until the next statement's read. Robbie.
Jason Tatum.
It is not Jason Tatum.
Is LeBron 6'9"? What's the?
I think
Yeah,
technically,
I wanna know
officially,
if
he's
we were
listed
right.
6'8", but I think technically he is 6'9". But I think
I played enough 2K to know that his like listed height is
6'8".
like 6'8", and KD is like
6'9".
6'11".
No,
Tatum
this
is listed as 6'8". I was not confident in that answer, but I'm glad that I got that right.
All right. Next statement. I am retired.
Fuck.
The next one.
6'8" and retired.
Correct.
Like
Like I said,
I have a guess. I think he's a little too tall, but I'm just going to throw it out there anyways.
Sure, good.
Lamar Odom.
Incorrect. I like that. I like that pull though. The more
bag, deep
yeah,
bag.
for real.
Paul Pierce.
It is not Paul Pierce. All right. I played for 6 NBA teams.
Oh my.
And Lamar Odom was a good guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess again. Lamar Odom.
6 teams.
6'8", retired. Played for 6 NBA teams. Like I said, I'll get a little more specific as we continue on throughout the round.
I want to throw out a guess because we don't
Yeah,
get
yeah.
penalized, but like I don't have anyone like jumping to mind right
I
now.
don't either.
That's okay. If you guys want to move on to the next one, you can just tell me.
Let's go to the next. I'll go to the next one.
I will as well. I got nothing.
All right. I played for 19 seasons.
Played for 16. I was assuming it was, at least 15 seasons.
Can I? Oh no. You think he played for 20?
You throw out a guess. No harm in throwing out a guess.
He's not. I don't think he's tall enough either. I'm gonna guess Vince Carter, but I don't think he's tall enough.
It is not Vince Carter.
How tall is Vince Carter?
I think he's only like 6'5".
I just don't have a guess.
You don't have a guess, Robbie?
No.
All right. We'll move on to the next one.
Vince Carter is 6'6".
Ooh, almost 1 inch off. I have 10 All-Star appearances.
Yeah, see, we're missing.
Tracy McGrady.
It is not Tracy McGrady. That's a
That's
good
a
guess.
good
Damn it.
guess. That's a
That's
good
a really
guess.
good guess. I don't think he played for 19. See, he didn't play that long.
No, but he is 6'8", and he probably had around 10 All Stars. So
That's a good
Good
guess.
guess.
Robbie, anything?
Yeah, I went in the
thinking
bag
too
for
new.
Lamar. I went in the bag for Lamar Odom, and I got
You
nothing
lost
left
it.
in the bag. I had nothing left in the bag.
All right, we'll move on to the next
19
one.
seasons and 10 All Stars. I mean, we got to know him. So
Here, I am 10th on the all-time scoring list. I mean,
who's at 10 now?
he's Ooper, man. He's an Ooper. 6'8", retired. 6 NBA teams, 19 seasons, 10 All-Star appearances, 10th on the all-time scoring list.
I mean, that's a Hall of Fame career,
Yeah.
Correct.
and I can't think of him. This is embarrassing.
Oh, it's all
It's
right.
embarrassing. It's a bad look for the boys.
We got another one.
I don't know how much more specific you're going to get. We should be
We
getting.
should be throwing out some get. Hold on, I'm thinking. Hold up.
All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything.
Thank you, Cadillac.
All right, I got nothing. Keep going.
All right. I played for Syracuse in college.
Carmelo Anthony.
It is Carmelo Anthony.
Nice.
Nice. Good ball.
Mello.
All right.
Melo's only 6'8". I for some reason
Yeah.
thought Mello was taller.
I actually kind of did too.
Yeah, he is 6'8".
It's, I had Dwayne Wade in my mind. I'm like, he's too short.
Correct.
I couldn't
Yeah,
figure out the next person.
Cadillac, will you fuck off? Thank you.
Well, it's one of those things where he's like listed as 6'8", but he might be
He's
1 to 2
definitely-
inches
I think
taller.
I think Melo's taller than that.
Yeah. All right, Robbie, you're up 1-0. Depending on how long the next two go, we can do 3 or 5. So we'll do this next one real quick. I am a 5-time NBA All-Star.
Tony Parker.
It is not Tony Parker.
Bugsy Bogues.
It is not Muggsy Bogues. I am an NBA champion.
Tony.
Can I ask a clarifying question? Are you saying
Sure.
you're a one-time NBA champion, or you are an NBA champion of to be determined amount of times?
To be determined. I am an NBA champion.
Okay.
So we're inferring active if that logic continues.
I have won an NBA championship.
Well, no, I was asking like, have they won more than one? Basically,
Yeah, that's what it is.
But
He-
he's not giving us that yet.
Correct.
Okay.
Robert Ory.
It is not Robert Ory. It's actually a
Okay.
good guess.
Manu Ginobili.
Let's go down the Spurs. It is not Manu Ginobili. I am a previous winner of the Most Improved Player award.
It's gotta be that's a fairly recent award, right? Like they haven't had that around for forever, so I feel like it's got to be
Who came off a blown knee.
Kawhi Leonard.
It is not Kawhi Leonard. We're going down the Spurs, man.
He's made more than 5 All-Star teams too.
Yes, I believe he has.
Zach LaVine.
It is not Zach LaVine.
Has he won a championship?
I'm a
I don't
former 3-point contest champion.
Klay Thompson.
It is not Klay Thompson. Did he win Most Improved Player? He might have. I don't know.
We're throwing dudes' names out there.
I
At
mean,
this
that's what the game is, man. The next
Most
guy is-
improved and won a 3-point contest.
I'm excited to read the next stat because it's really interesting.
Fuck, I had no idea.
It's all right. I can move on.
Move on.
Every time my team has made the playoffs, I have been in the NBA Finals.
So he's played with Braun. Kyle Korver, not a 5-time
It is not Kyle
All-Star.
I don't think this guy's 5-time All-Star either. J.R. Smith.
It is not J.R. Smith. I was the 5th overall pick in my draft.
Could it be Kevin Love?
It is Kevin Love.
Nice.
Let's
Good
go.
pull. Good pull.
Nice, good pull. Yeah, every time he's made the playoffs, he's been in the NBA Finals. That
That was immediately LeBron.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, no, we locked in on the Cavs there fast.
But I also thought Love was potentially more than a 5-time All-Star, but I guess
not.
once he
Those-
joined Braun, he probably stopped making All-Star teams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty
he
much.
carried those Timberwolves teams too.
The last two hints were I play power forward / center, and then the majority of my career was spent with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So those were the
So those would not have helped us because we were already locked in on the Cleveland Cavaliers.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
J.R. Smith.
I was about to go. I was
That was
thinking
fun.
Tristan Thompson until the
Ooh.
3-point contest thing. Like, it's like he was drafted high, right? Like I'm remembering that Tristan
I
Thompson was
think he
drafted like
was.
weirdly high.
Yeah.
I don't know, Tristan.
I was
Thompson.
immediately thinking of if you had to pick one person
Yeah.
to hit a 3-point shot to save the fate of the planet, I want Henny Jr.
Give me Iguodala. All right, moving on to it's currently tied 1-1, gentlemen. We're going to the third round here. Here's the first stat. I only played one season of college basketball.
Okay.
Kyrie Irving.
It is not Kyrie Irving.
Carl Anthony
It
Towns.
is not Karl Anthony Towns. I only made one All NBA team my entire career.
Oh. So he's a one and done and one All NBA team.
De'Aaron
Okay.
Fox.
It is not De'Aaron Fox.
It's a good guess. Ooh, I don't know. We're gonna have next question.
I am left-handed.
Man, the Kyrie poll is crazy.
Right.
One All NBA team.
One
in
team.
his entire career, so he's potentially retired. Maybe, depending on the wording.
I'm like thinking about like Duke and Kentucky players that are left-handed. That's where
Right.
we're
That's
at.
that's actually a good pull. Yeah, it's good area to guess on.
It's not.
I'll move on to the next one. I
Okay.
am an Olympic gold medalist.
So he was good enough to get on the Olympic teams, but only made one All-NBA team. So he
Booker?
rode the bench for the Olympic teams.
He's not
What'd you say,
left-handed though. Devin Booker, but he's not left-handed.
It is not Devin Booker.
It's a good guess.
He's not left-handed.
Is Jaylen Brown the one who doesn't have a left hand? Or
Correct,
does
yeah.
have a left hand?
No, he does not have a left hand.
I was trying to remember. I was like, he's got one hand, and I
The
don't
absolute
know.
opposite of being left-handed. Yes.
All right, I'll move to the next one. I played for the Toronto Raptors.
Kyle Lowry.
It is not Kyle Lowry. He's right-handed.
Brother,
Oh,
my bag ain't that deep.
hold on.
Robbie's cooking. Robbie might have it.
He was in college for longer than 1 year. I was thinking Van Vliet, but he was in college for like 4 years. Pascal Siakam.
It is not Siakam. My number has been retired.
Both the guys I named earlier for sure have more than one All NBA team.
This is probably the hardest one that I have. You might get it with the next one.
Raptors Olympic winner.
Number retired.
Yeah, that one's throwing me. I'm kind of ignoring that one at the moment.
BC.
Who?
Vince Carter.
Oh, it's not Vince Carter.
One All NBA team. Put some respect on my boy's name.
Listen, I'm just throwing. You just gotta throw guesses, man.
All right, we will move on to the next one. My career was cut short due to an injury.
I got fuck all at this point, actually. I'll go with Steve Francis.
It is not Steve Francis. Steve Francis.
Relax.
What a
Tyler
man.
Hansborough.
It's not Tyler Hansbrough. The last one. Who am I with the initials CB?
Chris Bosh.
It is Chris Bosh.
No way he only made one All NBA
Yeah,
team.
no, that's why I put it. It shocked
That's
me.
crazy.
He was only made one All NBA second team.
Yeah, he wasn't even on my radar because I definitely thought he made more than one All NBA team.
And he made one in 2007. That was the only time he ever.
Steve
made
Francis
one.
never made a All
Also,
NBA team.
also not left-handed, and I don't think he played for the Raptors.
Correct.
It was like-
It was a poll.
His
It just
Jersey's
wasn't
also
a
not
good one.
retired.
But he also went second overall, which is kind of crazy.
To be fair, Vince Carter only made 2 All NBA teams.
That's kind of crazy.
He was a second team and a third team.
I will say I was a little sneaky there because I said he played for the Raptors, but his jersey number was only retired by the Heat. So I was a little sneaky there in terms of
that's
so
fair.
that's why I was. Okay, so it's currently Robbie. Do you guys want to do one more? What do you guys want to do? You guys want to move on? I'm gonna leave it up to you. I've got 2 more, but we can move on.
I
Do
can
you
give
want
you-
to mount the comeback, Ryan?
I want to mount something.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
all right.
All right.
I'll bow my head to Robbie. Give him the victory on this.
All right, Robbie, you have successfully defeated Ryan. We do have a couple more for the next time we play that game. So we're going to move on to the next thing here. Hold on. Sorry, let me pull the outline up again. Robbie, we are going to talk about the NHL playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, if you will. Would you like to give us a little bit of a rundown?
Yeah, so we're also in the conference finals in the NHL playoffs. In the West, the Edmonton Oilers up 2-1 on the Dallas Stars. Stars
Big
won
news.
game 1 and a furious comeback in the third period. I went to bed and the Oilers were up like 3-1. I'm like, they're probably going to win. And then I woke up the next day and the Stars won 6-3, I believe. Since then, Oilers have been in control. On the eastern side, the Florida Panthers are up 3-0 on the Carolina Hurricanes. None of the
Once
games
again,
none of the games have been close. Fun stat for anyone who doesn't pay attention to hockey: the Hurricanes have lost 15 consecutive Eastern Conference Finals games. If they were to lose today, they would be swept for the 4th consecutive time in the Eastern Conference
Holy
Finals.
crap!
that's actually such a good sports trivia fact.
They have not won an Eastern Conference Finals game since they went to the Stanley Cup Final and won the Stanley Cup in 2006.
Holy crap! That is a crazy stat.
How is that possible?
It shouldn't be.
How do
it
you
really
lose
shouldn't be. But
potentially incoming 16 straight
yeah.
Eastern Conference Final
And
games?
if they were to lose tonight, then it would be 2 out of the last 3 years being swept by the Panthers in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Golly,
So,
man, that is bad.
yeah, at this point, they just got to win one. Like, you just have to exercise the demons, even if it's a gentleman's sweep and you lose 4-1.
Yeah.
I feel like you just got to find a way to win one. Like, you have to win tonight and then go from there. But, yeah, looking like the Stars are still in it. Stars can still win the series. But right now, we are on pace for a repeat of last year's Stanley Cup Finals between the Oilers and the Panthers.
Nobody asked for it.
Man, I don't know if anyone can beat this Panthers team. I really don't. Not in the playoffs. It's gonna be tough on the Oilers. If anyone can do it, it's the Oilers, just because they can put up goals like nobody's business. But it's gonna be tough.
Robbie, I'm sorry, man. That is a brutal existence.
Jesus
North Carolina
Christ.
sports do not get enough credit for how bad they are.
Yeah, no, actually,
No, I think they do.
No, it's because we're a little too irrelevant to like be talked about. But I think they need some more credit.
dude, being a fan of like the Panthers, Hornets,
And Hurricanes.
like Hurricanes is the worst.
It's
do
a
you
terrible
do it?
existence. Yeah.
How do you do
How
I
would
mean,
that do
we
it?
the Alabama at least. The Braves are usually okay, so we just
like-
kind of we hang in there, you know.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Hence why we're ready for football season to start.
Yeah, actually. To stay with hockey, real quick on this headline, Team USA beats Switzerland for the ice hockey world title. It is Team USA's first trophy since 1933. So congratulations to Team USA there.
Yeah,
we're back.
international hockey's getting fun. I don't know if you guys were aware of this, but they didn't do an NHL like All-Star game this year. They did the Four Nations Cup, which they essentially took
didn't
the
know
top
that.
4 hockey nations, excluding Russia because Russia's not really allowed to be in it. So it was the U.S., Canada, Finland, and Sweden. And they did like a little round robin and then had a championship. And it was like by far the most watched like NHL like All-Star thing ever, just because people want to watch their country play and all that stuff. Canada did get the best of the U.S. in the finals of that one. So nice to see the U.S. get the trophy here. But yeah, I mean, I think that this type of stuff that's good for hockey and help it grow. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, totally fair. Going to move on to the NFL real quick, a little bit of National Football League discussion. Our first thing, NFL players will be allowed to participate in flag football at the 2028 Summer Olympics.
I find this a very interesting decision. Truly.
They're gonna lose somehow. Like I don't know how.
Correct.
Like they're gonna
We're gonna
find a
be
way to
embarrassed.
embarrass themselves on like the biggest stage.
And then we're going to be like divas about it and have like super bad attitudes.
Correct.
Interesting.
Shocking for the NFL.
Like there's no way that they should lose, but they will surely find a way to lose to somebody they have no business losing to.
It would be interesting. That would be kind of crazy. So Ryan,
like-
what is your reasoning
like-
on why you think it's interesting?
I get the precedence, right? Like the NBA, those players have played in the Olympics for a while now,
Yeah.
but like the football is it's growing, but the football has always been and is very much like a United States sport. And to have our best players now playing like a variation of it, it's just kind of interesting. And just the potential release for like those players to get hurt in a version that's not even the normal version they play is an interesting decision by the NFL.
I kind of get the owner's perspective on though. Like you don't want to prevent your guys to be able to represent their country.
Sure.
And like it's
Totally
such a
get
bad
that.
look to be like, sorry, no, you can't go play in the Olympics. So like I get it from that standpoint. But I mean,
I
playing
get both sides for sure.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited that they're able
sure.
to play. I'm interested. Somebody gets hurt, right?
Yeah.
Like you have a guy blow out an ACL in one of these Olympic games and misses the season.
they won't be allowed to play next time, basically.
right?
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing as like why a lot of NBA players don't participate in the dunk contest or like they don't try in the All-Star game is because they're worried about
That's
injury and
soft.
stuff like that. No,
That's
I agree.
soft.
I agree, but I'm saying like the the thought process of trying not to get injured is kind of
There's a little bit different between playing like a full speed granite flag football game versus just dunking. Like that's soft and just get over it.
I'm with you, man. We got to figure it out. You know, like a lot of people kind of crap on the NBA and all the All-Star stuff. Dude, I give Adam Silver props. He's trying new things almost every year to try to make these players like the.
But
players
is he
care.
trying too many new things?
Correct.
But like every time,
like we're just throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks is what it feels like to me.
But I don't think that's a bad thing because other than the first year that they did remember it was like if you win the quarter you win for your charity or whatever, and then you're like playing to a certain number and you get to that number and you win or whatever. Like that the first year that happened.
Mental gymnastics.
But
not gonna
I'm saying
lie,
the first year that happened, they like the game was really good, and but then the next year they didn't care, and then the next year they didn't care, and then they tried new things the last 2-3 years, but nothing has worked. And so like I don't think he's wrong for trying to find something else to stick.
Maybe they should steal page from the NHL and go to like a nations playoff because relevant to Shea winning MVP, we've not had an American-born MVP in the last 8 seasons. Like
Correct.
Basketball has 100% become a very international game.
Yeah.
Maybe you move to, and I don't know if you could do it by country. Like you could do a European team. You could do, maybe an Eastern and Western European team. I guess they're all mostly European. But I mean, just do something like that where it's a little bit different. You can probably do an African team as well. I don't know. Just try something else. And
the Americans would get boat raced by a all EU team.
Yeah,
in my personal opinion,
for sure. And you might have to do it like a 3-on-3, but I'd watch that.
I would do. They used to do. Sorry, might just open up. They used to do like a Team World versus Team USA game, and that was sometimes interesting. But I don't
now
know,
they've changed it to like the rookies versus the rising stars or whatever. It's like rookies versus second and third year players or whatever.
Yeah,
Unks.
Moving on here to talk a little bit more about the NFL. This is more of a debate segment, gentlemen. We're going to talk about the tush push. It was proposed to be banned about a week and a half ago or so, and that did not go through a couple of days ago. So, gentlemen, should the tush push be banned?
No.
And not for safety, not for integrity or the game, anything like that. It's just fucking boring. Like I am sick and tired of watching the Eagles walk up anytime they're within the 3-yard line or on the tush push. I'm tired of it. It's boring.
Stop it. Line up and stop it. It's really quite that simple. Because you're not good, you want to ban something? Correct. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Correct. It's just boring. I don't want to.
That's why they call it the No Fun League. That's literally why.
I am with Ryan here. I think that the Eagles devised this play because of the strengths of their team. Just like any other NFL team, you have a playbook and you adapt to the players that you have. And the Eagles know that their O-line is strong enough, and they're and Jalen and Saquon are strong enough to get the half yard, the 1 yard they need. My argument is like the other teams could have done this at any point. They could have done the exact same play literally at any point, and none of them can because the Eagles have the advantage on how they run it.
So let me ask you guys a question. No one's really been able to stop this, right?
Correct.
So you're saying stop it. So are you willing to admit that the Eagles are by far the most physical team in the NFL, bar and above none? Because no one's able to stop it.
Yeah,
so you're willing to admit that your division rival is far and away the most physical team in the NFL?
Well, saying nobody can stop it's not necessarily true. Like for the first time, I forget the exact time period, but there was a while, right, where it was like a 95% success rate. That's dropped. It's like low 80s to high 70s now. So like teams have been able to game plan slightly for it. At least I remember seeing it was like 82% success rate.
I think he's right, actually. 28 out of 34.
It's 86%. But are they accounting for, because like what they'll do a lot of times is they'll run on third down, not get it, and then run it again on fourth, and they get it.
Sure.
Like, to me, that should count as a success, not a fail and then a success.
Sure, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I can't speak to how they're measuring that, but I think you would be correct. There have been multiple times they've run it on 3rd and 2 to get them to like 4th and inches kind of thing.
My argument's always been
here's
other team.
Here's a stat. So, the Eagles were 39 of 48, converting the tush push into a first down or touchdown this season. Of the 9 times they failed, they followed with a first down touchdown on the next play using a tush push 8 times. So essentially, they were 47 of 48.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
97.9%.
My argument's always been like any other team could run that play, bless you, at literally any other point. They could run it at all, but they just don't have like the physicality and whatever the lineup that the Eagles have, it works to their advantage. I don't see why it should be illegal. I don't stop it. Like that's always been my thought process.
Outside of the Eagles and Bills, the rest of the NFL has a 71% effective rate with the QB sneak. The Bills, because Josh Allen is just a massive human being and just kind of leans over. But
yeah, all right.
I don't know. I just think it's boring.
Well, sure.
Give it to the fullback. Let him run it up the gut. Let's get it going. I don't want to see Jalen Hurts flail around the line of scrimmage another time.
I don't understand wanting to ban it. I really don't. I'm trying to like get there. I guess boring would be the only reason.
That's my only argument. I just think it's boring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's fair. I think that is fair.
I hate watching Eagles games. I don't want to watch the tush push 5 times a game. It's fucking boring. Like I don't care.
Moving to this next headline real quick. Alex Palou has become the first driver from Spain to win the Indianapolis 500. Robbie, your former area that you lived in, Indianapolis.
It is, yeah. And apparently it was a crazy race yesterday. They had people catching on fire in lap 1 and like
I saw
in warm-ups and everything. Other than that, I have no insights on this because I didn't watch it at all. But
Same.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. First driver from Spain. I think there was one guy that was driving in the Indy 500, then getting on a plane, flying to Charlotte to drive in the Coca-Cola 600 in NASCAR right after.
Which
is pretty cool. So
that goes crazy.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That is a lot of time behind the wheel of a car.
Right.
Yeah. I believe Palou's teammate, who's also from Spain, he, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he held off somebody on like the last lap in order to help Palou win. So shout out that guy.
Did he get some milk too? Did he get to have some of the milk as well? I think he should. Did you know they get to ask like what percentage of like milk they get? Like you can request skim or like 2% or whole. Like you actually get to request that when you win. And there's stats on like how many people have requested. Like only like 3 of them have requested skim milk, which is good.
Yeah.
Can that be a prop bet?
Skim milk rep here?
Almost guarantee that is a prop bet, Connor. I would be pretty surprised if it wasn't, but
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, so we're shitting on skim milk?
No, I'm not.
I mean, if I have the option, like I'm just not going to choose to drink skim milk.
So I have a follow-up question. Who's weirder, skim milk drinkers or whole milk drinkers?
Skim milk. What's wrong with whole milk, man?
What's wrong with it? It's yogurt, brother. Like that's
if you're drinking whole milk, just go for straight half and half at that point. Like
right.
I mean,
where does the insanity end?
Granted, I don't drink. Like the only time I would use milk are in contexts where I would want it to be whole, like hot chocolate or making mac and cheese or stuff like that. Like I don't drink.
That is true. Whole milk is very important for cooking. That is actually that's a good.
Yeah, but I'm talking 8 ounces of cold down the gullet.
Give me 2%. All day.
I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
milk,
So what I'm saying is, what's weirder, drinking straight whole or drinking straight skim?
I think whole.
Wrong with whole, man.
I think whole. Drinking whole milk is like you're just gonna be weighed down by that for the rest of like the next 3 days. Like you're just gonna feel that in your stomach.
I mean, it's that punishment where you have to drink like a gallon of milk for a mile or something like a milk mile or something like that.
I have seen that, and that is
you lose your
disgusting.
fantasy league. No, it's pretty awful.
Jesus Christ!
Much rather do like a beer mile where you have to like drink a beer every lap or whatever. That's much better than drinking an entire gallon of milk.
Yeah.
They should upgrade that challenge. You have to put some like taki dust in the milk too, and that's what you have to drink for your milk.
What?
Why are you such a sicko? What is wrong with you?
Oh, yeah, that was crazy. Gentlemen, we're going to move on to our last thing. We have a bit of a bracket here. Our bracket for this episode is Best NBA Celebrations.
Oh, this is good.
You like this one? All right, here we go. We got our first seed against the 16th seed. I don't remember how I seeded these. This was a while ago. But I made this a while ago just to kind of have in storage. But we have LeBron James, the silencer, obviously the iconic LeBron celebration. He does the leg thing and he pats his chest or whatever. And then the KD/Kobe stone face. So basically just no reaction after you hit a clutch shot.
I think it has to be LeBron just based on the fact you had to put 2 players in that seed to say what it was because like anyone can hit the stone face.
Sure.
Essentially the mean mug.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll move Bron on.
All right, we have D'Angelo Russell, the ice and veins, or the Trae Young shiver.
I will give my personal opinion. It's got to be D'Lo.
I agree.
Just for the fact of him missing that shot where he like turned around
Yeah, it's a
and
good
it
point.
fucking rimmed out just
Yeah,
because of that.
Dude, D'Angelo Russell on the Nets, like it was so much fun. Whenever the Nets, remember the Nets bench went crazy for him, and he would do it was so fun. We have Carmelo Anthony's 3-pointer to the head to the dome, or Sam Castle's big balls celebration, where he just basically like swings on the court. It's kind of funny. It's pretty funny.
That Castles is funny if we're going like based off iconic. I love
to the
Melo's 3 to the head
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like having a role player just fucking hanging sack after doing
Pretty
something
good, man.
like
That's tough. That
is tough.
Yeah.
Pretty good. All right, we'll go with Carmelo. Then we'll go with the Carmelo's 3 to the head. Next, we have Wes Matthews, the bow and arrow 3-point celebration, or the Damian Lillard Dame time.
Fellas, the bow and arrow is better than Dame time. And I'm not afraid to say that. Like,
I don't think that's a bad take.
Yeah,
I just
think it is
don't
either.
can you tie that Selly just to Wes Matthews?
no,
But he
you
was
can't.
the first one. Like that was his, and then people started stealing it from him because it was originally his.
Okay. If it was originally his, like, yeah, Wes Matthews all day. For sure.
I agree with that. Dame just pointed to his wrist, man. Like,
Yeah,
you're
well,
not doing anything.
You don't have a watch on, stupid. Why are you pointing at your wrist?
Next, we have Russell Westbrook's "Rock the Baby" or Lance Stevenson's guitar celebration.
God, this is the best matchup you could have had in the first round for these two brick savants.
I would love to see them go 1-on-1 and each pull out these celebrations with their continually missing shots. Like, that would be great.
Exactly, man. I don't know what I'd go here, honestly. I really don't. They're both pretty good.
I haven't seen Russ hit a rock the baby in a fucking
been a
minute,
minute.
dude.
Honestly, though, like, I don't like I can think of the Lance Stevenson guitar, but I don't think of that with Lance Stevenson. I think of more of him
Sure.
blowing on LeBron. Like that's the
Right.
Lance Stevenson celebration to me, is blowing in LeBron's ear.
Yeah. All right, we'll go Russ there.
Yeah.
We'll go Russ.
All right, next we have Jason Terry's jet celebrations, where he literally flies around like a jet or whatever, or we have Dikembe's finger wag.
You gotta go the finger wag.
Yeah,
it's
the jet is
like-
sick, but like the finger wag
Yeah.
has so many other applications outside of basketball
Correct.
too, and like people outside of basketball know that it's Mutombo. Like they might not be able to pronounce his name, but like if you do the finger wag, they'll like know who it is.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to Jet. Like that's a fun celly for
Yeah.
sure. But like the Mutombo one is iconic.
It's a fun celly, but it's not as hard as the finger wag.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. All right, next we have on our matchup. Oops, sorry. We have Michael Jordan shrug, or we have Harden stirring the pot.
Yeah, we gotta go MJ.
Shrug. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not. I don't even know how Harden made it on this list. That one's not really tough.
All right, next we have the J.R. Smith 3 to God, so he like shoots up whenever he does it, or we have the Steph Curry night
Steph.
celebration.
Night. Yeah.
They're the
Dude,
Steph.
the three's kind of hard though. He, like, looks,
It
I don't
is.
know. I like that.
Yeah, but if
But-
you get hit with the night, like we
Yeah,
don't have a too small on here because that's not a one player
Yeah,
celebration.
yeah.
But getting hit with a too small or a night is like just disrespectful, and like you're in for some shit the rest of the game.
Oh, 100%.
the Steph night to France in the Olympic gold medal game.
Yeah.
With Braun and Katie on the wing just standing there holding each other is potentially the craziest celly I've ever seen. Also, I saw a video the other day of
In
some
France,
guy-
by the way, too. In
Yeah,
France.
in France. I saw a video from like a professional indoor lacrosse league where these guys will fight like it's hockey, and they were fighting each other, and this guy knocks the other dude out and fucking hits the night. Like they were right next to his bench, like the opposing team's bench. He knocks him out and hits the fucking night. And then you see
That's
all these guys like jump over to try to get at him, and it's a brawl. I was like, I need to go to that wherever that is.
Next, in our second round, we have LeBron James's silencer versus D'Angelo Russell's ice and veins. Dude, I don't know. I kind of think that the ice and veins is tougher, man.
And it's again another thing to think about. Like, yeah, the silencer for LeBron, but like also LeBron's signature move is the powder, like up in
Right.
there to me.
Mhm.
Like that's LeBron's move. The silencer, yeah, it's there, but that's not LeBron's signature. I wouldn't say.
What
Yeah.
makes this decision for me is I did not know that was called a silencer until you mentioned that.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Sure.
So I got to go with ice in the veins.
Yeah. Next, we have Carmelo's 3 to the head or Wes Matthews' bow and arrow. This one's pretty hard. For me, this one's pretty hard.
I think it's the 3 to the head just because it's more
Yeah.
closely tied to Melo. It's a
Sure.
very similar celebration. It's, the 3-pointer, but I think it's the 3 to the head.
And I think I agree. And what makes that decision for me is I have actual like memories of Melo hitting that in a game.
Yeah.
Where the only time I can remember Wes hitting that is from the bench.
I also I can like picture someone doing it on court, but I don't think it was Wes Matthews.
Right.
So
Yeah. Next, we have Westbrook's Rock the Baby or Dikembe's Finger Wag.
finger wag.
Let's move Mutombo on here.
Gotta be. Next, we have Michael Jordan Shrug versus Steph Curry's Night Night.
This is the
This
hardest
could-
one.
This could be a finals matchup in
Yeah,
my
this
personal
is
opinion.
definitely the most difficult one in this round.
Oof. Yeah, this is tough, man.
The shrug is iconic.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The night is tougher.
I agree with that. Dude, there's just nothing more dejecting than Curry hitting a three and turning around to face the hard cam. And
Before it goes in, by the way.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
both turn around and hit
part
it
of
before it goes in.
Man,
That classic video of him like corner three next to his bench, and the entire bench like turns around to face the fans, and DiVincenzo's like safe, like doing like it's like so much stuff going on.
I think just from a generational perspective, you know, us being around Curry more, I think we gotta give it to Steph, man. No disrespect to MJ.
That is, I don't want to say it's crazy because I agree with Robbie that it's tougher, but just knocking Jordan out in the second round.
The other thing is like Steph like regularly hits the night. Like Jordan has the iconic shrug.
Sure.
Like was he hitting it all the time? Like I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Next we have D'Angelo Russell's Ice and Veins versus Carmelo's 3 to the head. It's another tough one.
Here I'm gonna say Melo, and the reason being, I'm thinking about this. If you're playing pickup basketball, what celly are dudes gonna pull out because they're iconic and because they've seen great players do it? No one's really gonna pull out the Ice to the Veins playing at the Y with the boys. You might pull this out. Like there's a pretty good chance someone's gonna pull out the 3 to the head.
Yeah. I think it's a good argument. I like that.
I'm trying to think on this list of the top 3 cellies that I myself would hit. I think Mutombo is number 1 for me.
Yep.
If my 5'9" ass somehow blocks you in the paint, you're getting that thing wagged at you.
5'9"
like,
kind of a push, but
okay, relax. Relax. It's not a push. Dating profile said 5'10" at one point. Now that was a push.
You're just rounding up.
In shoes, I'm 5'10". If I'm not in shoes, well, things are going well. But I think this for sure.
I think it's fair.
I was thinking like top 3 I could see pulling out is definitely the finger wag, and then hitting someone with a too small. Like if you happen to get an and one, you hit him with the too small. That's got you.
We have Dikembe's Finger Wag versus Steph Curry's Night Night.
Absolutely brutal, but I gotta go finger wag.
I agree. It's more iconic, probably.
It is.
It's so tied to Dikembe. Like you don't think of Dikembe Mutombo without that. You can think of Steph Curry without thinking of that. You can't think of Dikembe without.
And it's in commercials. Like I said, if you pull that to people who don't watch basketball, they probably know who did the finger wag. Like it really is like an iconic thing.
Yep.
Then our finals are Carmelo's 3 to the head versus Dikembe's Finger Wag.
I think it's finger wag just because of the far-reaching aspect of it.
Yeah. The soft power of the finger wag. Like he's not doing a whole lot, but like you still feel it in your bones. So you still feel
like,
that.
Oh God.
Yeah.
No, 100%. All right, that was a fun bracket, gentlemen. Dikembe's Finger Wag is officially the best NBA celebration of all time from the Bros on the Berg podcast. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that bracket and a lot of the decisions that we made. Maybe Michael Jordan Shrug got a tad disrespected, maybe just a little bit, but for the most part, I think we had a good bracket.
I think in the context that we were thinking of it in, I don't think it got disrespected because, like I said, I don't think that was a regular celebration for MJ.
Okay, yeah, I think it's fair.
Because like the question, like if you were thinking about like most iconic like things somebody would do on a court, like MJ's tongue is more iconic than like the shrug, right?
The shrug is more of like more of like an iconic moment maybe than it is like an actual iconic celebration that he did regularly.
Right. like Steph's mouth guard or like
Yeah.
MJ's tongue.
Mannerisms. There you go. That's
Correct.
what you're looking for.
Stop
Most
talking about his
iconic
tongue, man.
mannerisms.
Well, you could also
Hey,
like
yo.
point to the Jazz series, like him leaping in the air with his fist. That's a super iconic like
Yeah,
image
true.
of of celebration. But he only did that the one time.
Yeah.
All right, that is it for the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for listening. Robbie, do you want to sign us out?
Absolutely. For myself, Ryan and Connor, thank you for listening in again. We're back at it. We're back on the grind. Are we back next week too? Are we going to be locked in?
I mean, we got to lock it in.
Sure.
All right. Then for myself, Ryan and Connor, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening in, and please gamble responsibly.